this is Bridget Danner from Women's Wellness Collaborative, back again. And by the way, if you haven't been to our website, you can go to bridgetdanner.com. And if you have your own health question to ask, you can ask it there, or you can go to our Facebook, Bridget Danner LAC, and ask a question there. We're also on Twitter at Bridget Danner. So yeah, I'm here to answer your questions about women's health. And the next question I've got is about bioidentical hormones and, what's the deal with them? How do I use them? So in short, you don't really use them. You need a practitioner to help you use them. These aren't things to be messing around with. And in my opinion, they aren't something to use until you've run tests. So what I want to focus on is the testing and maybe a little bit about how to find a practitioner. So a lot of practitioners can get their hands on tests for hormones, but these are often pretty tricky to interpret. So you want someone who has some experience or is really willing to do the work to figure out your labs. So since I'm new to running labs, I'll often, call the lab for a consult to get a better sense of the lab, and most of them will offer that to practitioners. So there's two types of tests for female hormones that I like. One is a saliva test. You spit in these little tubes at home and you send out the test kit. And the saliva tests, one thing they do really well is tell you about your adrenal hormones and how you're fluctuating throughout the day and your overall levels. So that's one thing that saliva tests do really well, but they can also test your female hormones on one day, or you can do multiple tests throughout the month to see how your hormones are changing. You can see on some of those tests the hormones that help bring on ovulation, if those are happening for you, if perhaps you think there's something funny going on around ovulation. So that's one option, and the saliva test is pretty easy and nice, and can give you a sense of, is your estrogen low? Is your progesterone low? Are you ovulating? How are your adrenal hormones doing? Second test I like is called the Dutch test, and I think their URL is dutchtest.com. And I really like this one too. It's a urine test. You take it like the saliva test if you're testing throughout the day 2 to 4 times. And gives you a sense of that adrenal rhythm again, that we call it a circadian rhythm, when you should have energy in the morning and it slowly goes down, and see if you're following that rhythm or not. And that can give you a sense of the background or how you may have gotten yourself into some hormonal imbalance. And then it's testing things like estrogen and testosterone. And what's pretty cool about the urine test is urine is kind of like excrement, right? It's what we're throwing away. So we can see the garbage, so to speak, that our body's putting out and get a sense of what we're breaking down and what we're not breaking down as far as hormones. And it's really, really cool. So, for instance, I've ran a lot of these tests, or a handful of these tests, in women's estrogen. Often you can see from the test that they're not breaking down their estrogen very well. This could be a sign of an unhealthy gut, or a sign of some detox pathways in the liver being off, or even like a little clue about the genetic function and how we detox. So a lot can be gained from those urine tests, but it's not something to really do by yourself. However, I do think the Dutch test offers you a test and a private consultation right there through their site. So that's pretty cool. So really, first thing to do if you're considering bioidentical hormones is get with someone who can help you test, and somebody with experience or good training. And just a little bit about bioidentical hormones themselves. I can tell you my training in functional diagnostic nutrition, we didn't really use estrogen or testosterone either really on women directly. My training was more to use like precursor hormones that would make those other hormones, and those are what we give. We give the precursor hormones so your body could better make other hormones like estrogen and testosterone. And to be honest, some of them were pretty strong for me in my body, and I think I'm a little more receptive to herbal treatment or supplement treatment, but everybody's different. I think some people really do well on bioidentical hormones, and You just have to do your research and find a practitioner and a style that sounds right for you. So I hope that was helpful. Thanks, everybody.